Primary 1 registration is now underway and it's got new rules in place. But can the system be made even fairer short of relocating popular schools? Well, some months ago I spoke to one man who thinks there might be a solution. What I have here is the latest framework for Primary 1 registration. How do you think it can be further improved so that it's more fair?
Well, fair means that everyone gets a more level playing field.
Okay.
There's less time and energy spent strategizing by parents. Phase 2A, the alumni, that's inherited privilege, isn't it?
Let's take away 2A.
So probably we ought to
2AA.
remove this.
Okay.
A parent who's a member of the school advisory and management committee. Once again, it's parental privilege. Child whose parent is a staff member of the school. If you think of this as a kind of employment perk, we should say no to this too.
Okay.
This criterion doesn't privilege any particular group of parents, and we have to remember that these MOE kindergartens are affiliated to non-elite primary schools.
So that's 2A, pretty much wiped out. What about 2B?
Child whose parent is a volunteer at the school. Not every parent has the time or the resources to be a volunteer. And then membership in a church or clan that's affiliated with the school. This criterion only affects a small minority of schools in Singapore. So one might say we're looking for criteria that are consistent across all of our primary schools. And then we have community leadership. The entire primary school registration exercise is trying to accomplish too many competing objectives at the same time. The building of ties with alumni, the church or clan, employment perks for parents who work in the school, benefits for parents who volunteer in the school, and then we also have community leadership.
So if we look at it, everybody will end up competing at this phase.
That's right, and that would probably be much fairer in terms of opening up access considerably compared to what we had here on the board earlier on.
So the 1 to 2 kilometer radius of a school becomes the competing factor.
I think we need to rethink this whole issue of proximity.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
I have a map of Singapore here. One of the key issues we have is that some of the more popular primary schools aren't exactly distributed evenly across Singapore. For example, some of the schools in this area here.
In Bukit Timah, yeah.
That's right. And it's an area that is dominated by upper class housing. So why don't we think beyond the confines of 1 or 2 kilometers and say, draw a wider net? And say, in the case of this cluster here, and maybe another cluster here.
But actually with what you're suggesting, it actually goes against the idea of going to a school in your neighborhood.
Not every parent out there is dead set on getting their child into a branded primary school, and that's perfectly okay. This is to provide a greater chance of access.
What you've suggested is a pretty radical idea, and I can already hear parents going, no way, that's just a crazy idea. I mean, what would you say to them?
But Steve, we're not trying to make everyone happy. You'll never quite be able to have a system that doesn't privilege a particular group of parents. There's always, I guess, that tricky business of weighing up pros and cons. I don't think any country in the world has gotten it right. So, what do you think of his interesting proposal? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. And you can also catch this full episode of Talking Point at this link. Of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you later.